rated simply by the quality of real estate stock they create and how well is that stock delivered. This hard truth is well captured in the insightful Prop Equity report on top 10 cities in the Indian real estate market. Today in the Realty Debate, we bring you the facts. Which Indian city tops the list on resilience to the present market downturn and promises to lead the way for real estate growth in India? Which were the toppers 5 years ago, who have now been displaced, and why have they lost their ranking? Welcome everyone to the Realty Debate on top 10 cities in the Indian real estate market. With me today, Sanjay Dutt, Executive Managing Director, South Asia, Cushman & Wakefield; Ritesh Vora, Partner Real Estate, IDFC Alternatives; Raj Menda, Corporate Chairman, RMZ Corp; Pankaj Bajaj, MD, Aldeco Infrastructure Properties; and Sameer Jasuja, Founder and MD of Prop Equity, the man behind this report. We also have with us Sujay Kalele, CEO of Kolte Patil, joining us on the show. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in. I think before we start the debate, I must actually highlight some of the facts revealed. Now, India's top 10 cities. No surprises that Bangalore or Bengaluru has emerged as India's most attractive and bankable city. So, bankable is the key word here. Bangalore also takes the lion's share in primary sales, with yearly sales clocking a figure of 36,000 crore rupees. Now, what has happened to Mumbai? The financial capital has lost its sheen, slipped to 8th ranking from the top spot in 2009. A similar report of Prop Equity, same parameters, Mumbai topped the list. So, in 5 years, the financial capital has lost its sheen. Demand in the National Capital Region, again a hot market for real estate, suffered a massive decline of 53% in the last 2 years. The fourth key finding, the Western region alone accounts for more than 45% of the total 7.6 lakh of unsold stock amongst the 14 cities considered for this report. So, West of course is all of MMR, Mumbai region, which includes Navi Mumbai and Thane and Pune. But the Pune market of course has withstood this downturn much better. NCR's unsold stock is also nothing to write home about. This stock will take more than 50 months to clear. So, these are some of the numbers which are actually looking fairly astounding. Bengaluru climbed 5 positions to number 1. Chennai gained 2 spots and has reached the 3rd spot. Hyderabad, that's a market we've been saying is the dark horse, is up 6 spots to reach 4th position. Ahmedabad has also climbed 3 slots to the 5th ranking. Kolkata notched up 2 ranks higher, and Navi Mumbai 3 spots higher. I'm just going to cite out this last statistics before I go to the Q&A session and the debate. Mumbai slipped 7 rankings, as I've already said, to fall to 8th position in 2015 vis-a-vis the top position in 2009. Thane fell down from 3rd to 6th. Noida slipped from 4th to 11th. Noida, I'm surprised, was actually ahead because we were not doing this show in 2009. It was actually ahead of Gurgaon. Gurgaon toppled from 7th to 10th. So, the first question I think I'm going to throw to Sameer Jasuja. Bangalore has left behind both Mumbai and Gurgaon. Gurgaon specifically, Sameer, your favorite market, but you're not, there are no surprises there, isn't it? For the last 2 years, we've been seeing this transition of quality real estate to Bangalore.
Absolutely, Manisha, and I think this is primarily driven by what's been happening in the last 2 years in the real estate markets, where economy still not finding any ground of revival except that of the IT sector, which is continuing to do well and continuing to acquire commercial real estate, which acts as a lead indicator to residential real estate. Second big reason for NCR to have slipped was because of investor driven sales mostly happening in the NCR region, and Bangalore on the contrary is an end user market with fewer investors and dependence on monies coming in from end users or investors very limited. Most of the units in Bangalore get sold after the project is completed, which is a very big fact. So developers in the south region have shown that they execute very well, they do smaller projects and are not dependent on cash flows from end users or consumers. Lastly, I would say that confidence of the consumers has got eroded in the NCR region because of execution delays, excessive demand supply mismatch, pricing going up unabated, irrespective of oversupply in the market. These are some of the factors that have led to the South region claiming the first spot for the first time, and looks like they're going to be there on the top for some time to come.
All right, so let's look at that big factor which has got NCR to slip. Bangalore has taken a lead in project completion with more than 500 projects getting completed in 2014, up 50% from 2013. Pune's end-user driven market proudly follows Bangalore in taking the second spot when it comes to giving house owners or buyers possession. The two other southern cities, Chennai and Hyderabad, also feature in the top 5. MMR's 3 cities don't make it to the top 5. They take the 6th, 7th and 8th position, and NCR lies at the bottom of the barrel. All 5 markets. Sanjay Dutt, I mean, this is a wake-up call, isn't it, for NCR developers?
So true. I mean, everybody is familiar with the over-speculative NCR market, and also, because it's a combination of 3 markets, basically Noida, Faridabad and Gurgaon, and Delhi. Actually, Faridabad, a lot of people miss, so almost 4 markets. So because of the issues in Noida, which is oversupplied, too much of land, too much of speculation, and likewise in Gurgaon and all the way to Manesar and beyond, and maybe the too much of price increase while nothing really on the ground was happening, and almost similar impact on the office side. A lot of vacancy, not enough absorption, infrastructure catching up but taking time to catch up, and while there's still issues of water and electricity, law and order, and all those kind of issues really took a toll in NCR as a market. But I'm hoping, given the size of the market, given that it's a strategic hub for the entire North India, the fact that there will be some delivery, there will be some good developers who actually focus on execution, and if you see, Godrej very recently actually launched a project in NCR market and actually did pretty well on the sales side, which kind of reflects that if you have a credible developer who has the credibility of execution and delivery, you can actually perform in even a difficult market such as NCR. So there's some takeaways and learnings for developers and investors in NCR.
Okay, fair enough. Ritesh Vora, the rankings as we see them, no surprises there at all, or are you somewhat surprised by at least some of the cities' ranking?
Not really, actually. See, there are some fundamental reasons why the cities are ranked the way they are. If you look at the cities which are ranked in the top 5, 6, essentially you're talking about cities where there is a reasonable amount of economic activity, there is good level of infrastructure, if not fully developed, then catching up. And thirdly, I think the real estate market dynamics in terms of supply, demand, as well as absorption and pricing have been reasonably stable. I think those are some fundamental factors why the attractiveness from a real estate perspective is being ranked the way it is. And to be honest, seeing Hyderabad or a Bangalore or a Pune there, right at the top is not something that really comes as a surprise.
Okay, so let's go to the Bangalore developer who must be, I'm surprised Rajmenda is not smiling either, or I think Bangalore developers have just got so used to being at the top that they don't find it at all surprising. So Rajmenda, I think the panelists have summed up some of the facts, but what according to you has actually put Bangalore at the top spot?
Okay, I think 2 things. One is I find that a lot of qualified professionals are choosing Bangalore to come and stay. So once it offers a good job stability. Just so that last year Bangalore did 50% of the national office absorption at about 12 million square feet, which means approximately 1 lakh new jobs got created. And out of this, most of these 1 lakh direct jobs that got created are from qualified professionals who come out of colleges and can get a home on rent to start with at very, very reasonable and affordable prices. As simple as, shelling out 4,000 to 5,000 rupees a month. You can get into a branded home from a branded reputed developer as long as you share the home with a few friends. So actually it's quite cheap. Home to work is easy. Climate is good. Most cosmopolitan city in India. And I can see that, at the current position, our estimates of more job creation because of next year's increased office absorption means another lakh and 20,000 new jobs being created. There's no wonder these professionals can come and prefer to come to Bangalore to work out here because of the simple cosmopolitan nature. The other thing I also see is that in virtually about 3 to 4 years of an engineer who gets a job in these IT companies, he's able to afford his first home, which was not the case in point very many years ago. Because the affordability of being able to buy a home is, the whole ecosystem works very well. So the prices are quite reasonable. The quality is excellent from all the Bangalore developers, which has historically been the success of this city. And the home to work distances are quite short. So, and the only thing the city needs to get on is the road infrastructure, which everybody complains about, and the suburban infrastructure, which has to get into place. And once that is done, I think the city is all set to roll for the next decade. And I won't be surprised if the next few years of PropMart's report will keep putting Bangalore on top of the heap all the time.
All right. Is there a danger, Rajmendra? I'm going to come back to you. So you're saying this year office space was fabulous, the top amongst all cities. Next year, already you can see, or 2015, you can already see office absorption at great figures. But then we're all also beginning to see a downturn in IT, ITES. I mean, look at the numbers that have come out from the stable of Infosys or TCS. There is this whole talk about how they're facing immense and tremendous competition from some of the global best who are reinventing themselves much faster than Indian IT companies are. Is there a danger that this growth story you're talking about as a decade growth story going forward may actually get nipped earlier? Is there a plan that if beyond IT, ITES, what for Bangalore?
Two things. One is I feel that although some of the Indian companies are finding a lot of pressures from multinationals, because the multinationals have got a taste of the outsourcing work into India. So they seem to be preferring to set their own offshore operations into India and able to scale it up. So and also I find a lot of e-commerce companies have chosen Bangalore as a hub for doing all their data processing. That is a new way of what has happened in the last about 9 months, where all the e-commerce companies are choosing Bangalore as their hub for operation. So that is, to my mind, a sustained position. The unfortunate part for Bangalore is we do not have any industrialization happening in terms of industries in the city. So is there an alternative for IT? I'm afraid there isn't any. But do I see IT having a sunset in the near future? I can see it going further and further, because I find a lot more technology getting into places which you had never dreamt of. In India, watering up plants was still done by a Mali. One day it will be done by some technology out of somewhere, and it will be controlled out of somewhere in Cochin, where somebody will be operating your water pump from somewhere. So all that will be suddenly become so mechanical and technology driven, we will be surprised. So I'm a big believer that technology has a long way to go, and it will just keep happening out of cities like Bangalore, which lead the way for a lot of innovation and a lot of outsourcing.
Okay, on the livability index now.